and we don't want to sit here as like we're some subject matter experts in leadership and organizational culture. We're passionate about it, but we still have so much to learn. And what made you successful leading a maintenance crew or an ordnance crew in the Air Force is not going to make you successful necessarily leading a bunch of civilians in a private sector company. There's commonalities and core time tested principles still apply, but you're talking about a different audience. In the military, you have people that raise their hand, they want to be there, and they're driven by a high degree of loyalty and pride, where that doesn't necessarily, or it's not at such a high level in the private sector. And so you've got to lead those people differently. And so leadership is fluid. It's an evolution. And I've got a concept called evolved leadership, not some elevated status of leadership, but it's basically a premise of like, if you're not evolving, or the point at which you stop evolving, you will become less irrelevant or totally irrelevant to the people around you as well as your organization.
Yeah, I think one of the, this is a bit of a hot take, but I think it's accurate, is that veterans can tend to be a little bit entitled when we get out of the military and get into an organization, or even before we get into an organization, right? I can't tell you how many officers and senior enlisted, I go to their LinkedIn profile and I look, they put the equivalent of the civilian rank that they had at every given unit. And I'm like, I'm sorry, brother, but you were not a CEO. You were not a COO. We all know that the DoD's budgets are fugazi and are not real. So until you've operated a real P&L with real people who've been doing it, for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years within the civilian sector, you don't actually know what you're talking about. You need to integrate into that organization, learn, observe, and then begin to execute and implement some of your things. And also you're going to have to probably continue some of the things that they're doing well and learn from those folks that have been on the ground.
Hey, Carey, we have to have the same conversations with the veterans fresh out of the military that we place in companies. If somebody already has, 10 years of experience, they've usually struggled along the way to figure that out. But we tell very senior, whether senior enlisted or senior officers, it's not a lateral transfer. You're actually moving down. And you just said it. You ran a cost center. You managed a budget in the military. Does that apply to the private sector? Yes, but now you're running a profit center, and that's a completely different game where management makes decisions. Decisions are turned into activities, which produces results.